The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter number 21, Text number 21, given by His Grace, Shriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on May 25th, 2010, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
So today we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 21, Text 21. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tang Tvanubhujyo Parata Kriyartang Svamayaya Vartyata Lokatantram Svamayaya Vartyata Lokatantram Namamya Vikshnam Namaniya Pada Namama Vikshnam Namaniya Pada Sarojamalpi Yasikama Varsham Sarojamalpi Yasikama Varsham Tang Tvanubhujyo Parata Kriyartang Svamayaya Vartyata Lokatantram Namamya Vikshnam Namaniya Pada Sarojamalpi Yasikama Varsham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all benedictions on the insignificant. To give all living entities detachment from fruitive activity by realizing you have expanded these material worlds by your own energy. Purport. Everyone, therefore, whether he desires material enjoyment, liberation, or transcendental loving service of the Lord, should engage himself offering obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, because the Lord can award everyone his desired benediction. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord affirms, Ye yatamang prapadyante. Anyone who desires to be a successful enjoyer in this material world is awarded that benediction by the Lord. Anyone who wants to be liberated from the entanglement of this material world is given liberation from the Lord, and anyone who desires to constantly engage in His service in full Krishna consciousness is awarded that benediction by the Lord. For material enjoyment, He has prescribed so many ritualistic sacrificial performances in the Vedas, and thus people may take advantage of those instructions and enjoy material life in higher planets or in a noble aristocratic family. These processes are mentioned in the Vedas, and one could take advantage of them. It is similar with those who want to be liberated from this material world. Unless one is disgusted with the enjoyment of the material world, he cannot aspire for liberation. Liberation is for one who is disgusted with material enjoyment. Vedanta Sutra says, therefore, Tato Brahma Jigyasa. Those who have given up the attempt to be happy in this material world can inquire about the Absolute Truth. For those who want to know the Absolute Truth, the Vedanta Sutra is available, as is Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual explanation of Vedanta Sutra. Since Bhagavad Gita is also Vedanta Sutra, by understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanta Sutra, or Bhagavad Gita, one can attain real knowledge. When one obtains real knowledge, he becomes theoretically one with the Supreme. And when he actually begins the service of Brahman or Krishna consciousness, he's not only liberated, but situated in his spiritual life. Similarly, for those who want to lord it over material nature, there are so many departments of material enjoyment. Material knowledge and material science are available, and the Lord provides for persons who want to enjoy them. The conclusion is that one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for any benediction. The word karma varsham is very significant, for it indicates that he satisfies the desires of anyone who approaches him. But one who sincerely loves Krishna and yet wants material enjoyment is in perplexity. Krishna, being very kind toward him, gives him an opportunity to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and so he gradually forgets the hallucination. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Barakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Ragana Danvita Tam Sajiva Sadarita Zavaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. So it is very aptly stated here by Srila Prabhupada. That one may sincerely love Krishna, and at the same time desire material enjoyment. That is described as a state of perplexity. In other words, he's a little crazy. And as Prabhupada points out in the next sentence, hallucination. He's hallucinating, you see. It's like the hippies would take LSD, they would hallucinate, you see. So they are taking the LSD of material sense gratification. And they are hallucinating. Thinking that I can develop Krishna consciousness, but at the same time, I can have material sense enjoyment. Of course, it's not that the devotees' senses are not satisfied. Krishna is Govinda. He is the satisfier of the senses.
Той е този, който удовлетворява сетивата.
So when you satisfy Krishna, Govinda,
Затова, когато удовлетворите Кришна Говинда,
your senses automatically are satisfied.
автоматично и вашите сетива са удовлетворени.
But I'll tell you what the difficulty is.
Но ще ви кажа какъв е проблема.
We don't have faith in Krishna.
Проблема е, че ние нямаме вяра в Кришна.
That by giving him everything, that I will not be left out.
Ние си мислим, че ако му дадем всичко, за нас няма да бъде нищо.
We think if I give everything to Krishna, then I will miss out.
Ние си мислим, че ако отдадем всичко на Кришна, ние ще пропуснем нещо.
So we continue like Draupadi with one hand to Krishna and one hand for material side.
И ние продължаваме подобно на Драупади с едната ръка към Кришна, с другата се държиме за материално.
In a bewildered state of mind.
Това се нарича объркано състояние на ума.
In a state of anxiety.
И едно състояние на безпокойство.
Do you know that as long as you hold on to material sense enjoyment, you must be in fear? You know that? You must be fearful.
Знаете ли, че докато държите на сетивното наслаждение, вие ще бъдете изпълнени със страх? Това е задължително.
Do you know why you must be fearful?
Знаете ли защо ще се страхувате?
Because as long as you base your sense of happiness on material enjoyment, you're on a shaky ground.
Защото докато основавате своето усещане за щастие върху сетивното наслаждение,
because this material body can be finished at any minute.
Вие се намирате на несигурна почва, защото всеки миг.
So if your sense of happiness is based on material enjoyment,
всеки момент тялото ви може да умре.
You must be scared.
Затова ако основавате щастие,
you must be fearful by nature.
наслаждение, вие ще се страхувате. Това е.
It's only when we completely give up this idea of material sense enjoyment.
Само когато напълно изоставим тази идея за материално наслаждение, сетивно наслаждение,
then we become fearless, abhay.
ние ставаме абай или безстрашни.
So, Srila Prabhupada's initials, AC, it means abhay charan. One who becomes fearless by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord.
И така инициалите на Шрила Прабхупад Ача означават Абайчара, което означава този, който е безстрашен в лотосовите нозе на Бога.
So, that fearlessness means we completely become free from the desire for material sense enjoyment.
Безстрашие означава човек напълно да се освободи от желанието за сетивно наслаждение, материално сетивно.
You cannot hold on to the desire for material sense enjoyment and be fearless at the same time. It's not possible.
Не може човек да пази желанието за материално сетивно наслаждение и същевременно да бъде безстрашен. Това не е възможно.
To whatever extent you hold on to the desire for material sense enjoyment, to that extent you must be fearful.
В степента, в която човек поддържа желание за сетивно наслаждение, в такава степен той ще се страхува.
You can't artificially say, "Oh, I'm not afraid."
Човек не може изкуствено да си каже, нали, аз не се страхувам.
In the U.S., there's a popular bumper sticker people put on their cars, "No fear."
В Щатите има такъв популярен лепенка, която си слагат на
But to advertise no fear, that does not make you fearless.
Което пише не се плаши, нали? Но това не те прави безстрашен.
I guarantee you, if somebody put a gun in their head, they'd be afraid.
Гарантирам, че ако някой му пре пистолет в челото, те ще се страхуват.
But if a devotee has someone put a gun in his head, he is not afraid.
Но ако един предан дай някой му пре пистолет в главата, той няма да се страхува.
Because he knows it's up to Krishna.
Защото знае, че всичко зависи от Кришна.
Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to kill me, no one can protect me.
Ако Кришна иска да ме убие, никой не може да ме защити.
And if Krishna wants to protect me, no one can kill me.
Ако Кришна иска да ме защити, никой не може да ме нарани, да ме убие.
So if you have come to kill me,
така че ако ти си дошъл да ме убиеш,
and it is Krishna's desire I should leave my body right now, then it's great, no problem.
И ако желанието на Кришна е да напусне тялото си в този момент, няма никакъв проблем.
He must have a better engagement for me than the one I have right now.
Сигурно Кришна има по-добър аранжимент за мен от този, който имам в момента.
I'm shifting from the pujari department to the preaching department or something like that. That's all.
Просто минавам от служенето на пуджари в проповедническата сфера.
For devotee, death is not fearful. This means transfer of service. That's all. I'm going to a different department. That's all.
За предан отдаден няма страх от смъртта, защото за него това е като да минеш от едно служене на друго.
I was in the treasury department. Now my service is going to be over in the accounting, in the pujari department.
До сега се занимавах с хазната, сега преминавам към
The cow protection department.
или закрила на крави.
So devotee has nothing to fear from death.
Така че предан отдаден няма да се страхува от смъртта.
He knows that when death comes, Krishna has some plan for me. That's all. A better rejuvenated body.
Той знае, че Кришна има по-добър план за него, по-добър ново тяло да му даде.
A devotee's sense of happiness is not based on satisfying these material senses.
Щастието на предан отдадение не се основава върху удовлетворението на материалните сетива.
These material senses can never be satisfied anyway.
Така или иначе, материалните сетива никога не могат да бъдат удовлетворени по какъвто и да било начин.
In fact, the more you satisfy them, the more they get agitated.
Всъщност, колкото повече човек се опитва да ги удовлетвори, толкова по-възбудени стават те.
Therefore, Prabhupada said, no eating and no sleeping, that is the perfection of spiritual life. But I don't know, when I began the class, there was only, I don't know where you all were. Everyone was sleeping. I don't know where you all were. There was only 5 or 6 devotees here. I sent someone, go find everyone. I don't know what you were doing up there. But that is material life. You see, to sleep during the Bhagavad, during the early morning, that is material life. Spiritual life means in the early morning you should be awake. And then if you need some extra rest, you can probably take a nap after lunch every day, you know.
Ако имате нужда от допълнителна почивка, може да подремнете след обяд, както е правил Шила.
Of course, he only slept 2 hours at night.
Разбира се, Шила Прабхупад е спал само по 2 часа на нощ.
So you would think, well, he deserves a nap, you know.
Като си мисли, че заслужава все пак малко дрем.
He would take an hour and a half nap after lunch.
И затова си почивал час и половина след обяд.
And 2 hours rest at night, and that was it.
И 2 часа през нощта и това.
You can imagine 3.5 hours a day, and that's it. Nothing. And you never saw him drowsy or like. He's fully alert. Even when he went to even taking rest, he'd be quoting a verse. As he was going to sleep, he'd be quote one verse, and then he'd wake up, he'd finish the second half of the verse.
Дори когато си лягал, преди да си легне, цитирал един стих и когато се събуждал, цитирал останалата половина.
So it's not that he ever went into ignorance, actually.
Всъщност той никога не е изпадал в невежество.
So we have to understand this position of how to become ecstatic. We are still thinking that ecstasy means sense enjoyment. Give me some nice prasadam. Give me a nice brahmacharini. You see? Let me enjoy, you see. But actually, real happiness means simply bhakti, nothing else. Nothing to purchase except for Krishna. So we can study these great personalities here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We can see how blissful they are. How they're swimming in an ocean of unlimited enjoyment. Simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bowing down.
осветяват святото име, кланят се на Бога.
Offering the arati ceremony.
Предлагат церемонията арати.
Simply engaging all of their senses 100% in the service of Krishna.
Като ангажират всичките си сетива на 100% в служене на Кришна.
Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam. To engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Krishna.
Да се ангажират сетивата в служене на господаря на сетивата, Кришна или Кришна.
That is happiness.
Това е истинско щастие.
Krishna is an unlimited, he is a reservoir of unlimited happiness.
Кришна е вместилището на безкрайно щастие.
All we have to do is connect with Krishna.
Всичко, което трябва да направим, е да се свържем с Кришна.
Through love, that's all.
Посредством любов. И това е всичко.
If we simply can connect with Krishna through loving service,
ако просто се свържем с Кришна посредством
then we will tap into that unlimited reservoir of nectar.
Тогава ние ще се потопим в този безкрайен резервоар.
Even if you are living in desert,
дори да живеете в пустинята,
if you have a pipeline to a reservoir of unlimited nectar,
ако имате една тръба или сонда до един източник,
all you have to do is turn on the faucet.
на безкрайно нектар и щастие, всичко, което трябва да направите, просто включите кранчето.
Even if you're in the desert of this material existence,
дори да се намирате в пустинята на това материално съществуване,
if you're in the desert of Bulgaria,
в българската пустиня,
if you have a pipeline to Golok,
но ако имате една такава чешма,
all you have to do is turn that knob, you see.
с тръба, която води до Голока, просто трябва да включите кранчето.
And then you can get unlimited nectar.
И получавате безкрайен нектар.
Simply have to turn that knob.
Само трябва да включите.
And how do you turn the knob?
Как включите кранчето?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And then that unlimited stream of nectar from Goloka, it will flood your consciousness.
Тогава този безкрайен поток от нектар от Голока ще наводни съзнанието.
You can be at the temple.
Може да сте в храма.
You can be at home.
Може да сте си у дома.
You can be at school.
Може да сте на училище.
You can be at work.
Може да сте на работното.
You can be in the grocery store.
Или в магазина.
You can be in the doctor's office.
Или в лекарския кабинет.
You can be on the farm.
Може да сте на фермата.
Wherever you may be, you simply remember Krishna.
Където и да се намирате, просто помнете Кришна.
Then you open that tap, you see,
Тогава вие сте включили
to Goloka Vrindavan.
кранчето за нектара.
Golokera prema dana hari nama sankirtana. You see. Golokera prema dana. That dana is wealth, prema is love of God. So from Goloka Dham comes the wealth of Krishna Prem through the form of Hari Nama Sankirtana. You see. So if you will simply connect with Hari Nam, then you are getting that unlimited treasure of Krishna Prem.
Ако човек изпълнява Харинам Санкиртан, възпяване святото име на Бога, той се свързва и получава това богатство на божествената любов от Голока Вриндава, на Кришна Према.
So who is that unfortunate soul who will not chant Hare Krishna?
Коя е тази нещастна душа, която няма да възпява Харе Кришна?
Isn't that foolish?
Не е ли глупаво?
He's dying in the desert,
Той умира в пустинята.
and there's a tap right there. He can just turn the tap and be revived, you see.
И там има източник на вода и той просто трябва да въртне кранчето и да се съживи.
But he is proudly saying, no, I am independent.
Но той гордо заявява, не, аз съм независим.
I don't depend on any water faucet.
Аз не завися от някаква чешма.
I'm tough.
Аз съм здрав.
I'm Dr. Frog, PhD.
Аз съм доктор Жаба.
I'm big Dr. Frog, you see.
Имам такива звания голямо.
I don't need any help from some water faucet.
Нямам нужда от някаква помощ от някаква си чешма.
What a fool he is. He's dying of thirst in the desert There's a water faucet right there. He refuses to turn on the tap.
Какъв глупак е той? Умира от жажда в пустинята и има вода и той се отказва да...
He is complete idiot.
Да си включи кранчето. Той е пълен идиот.
Mahamudha. Asyo.
Той е магази.
He has no brain.
Той няма мозък в глава.
Cow dung.
Това има кравешка тор.
So, our Krishna conscious movement means we must give them brain.
Движението за Кришна съзнание означава да дадем мозък на хората.
Because they have no brain, we must give them brain.
Понеже те нямат мозък, ние трябва да им го дадем.
So how will we give brain? By this prasadam, that gives brain.
Как им даваме мозък? Прасадам им даваме
And
мозък.
by the kirtan, Hare Krishna kirtan.
И Харе Кришна киртан също.
So keep on distributing this prasadam.
Затова продължавайте да разпространявате прасадам.
And keep distributing the holy name.
И продължавате да
And
разпространявате
flood this country with Prabhupada's books.
святото име и наводнете тази страна с книги.
And then these poor souls are hallucinating in the realm of material sense enjoyment.
Тогава тези бедни души, които халюцинират в
They will wake up and realize how to swim in that unlimited ocean of nectar at every minute.
Ще се пробудят и ще осъзнаят как да плуват в този безкрайен океан от нектар.
So I can ask if there's any questions.
Има ли въпроси?
Narada Muni.
Финала на коментара на Шила Прабхупад е невероятно милостив. Защото, доколкото аз разбрах, той казва, че Кришна помага на тия, които с единия крак са в материалния свят, да се стремят към духовността. Но какво е помощта на Кришна? Защото, в крайна сметка, без неговата помощ ние не можем да направим нищо.
At the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada is very merciful, and he says that Krishna actually helps to those who are in between the.
That's right.
This mercy of Krishna, how it is manifested actually. How Krishna helps.
That depends on the individual devotee.
Милостта на Кришна зависи от конкретния предан отдаден.
For one who is very materially attached,
За някой, който е много материално привързан,
Krishna takes away all their material opulence.
Кришна му отнема цялото материално богатство.
Prabhupada used himself as an example.
Шрила Прабхупад цитира себе си като пример.
Even though he's a pure devotee,
Въпреки че е чист предан отдаден.
Krishna took away everything material that he had. You see, he had a chemical factory,
Кришна му взел всичко
pharmaceutical factory. The whole thing burned down.
материално. Той имал фармацевтична.
At one point, he thought he would be a very wealthy businessman for Krishna. You see,
В един момент той си мислил, че ще бъде много богат бизнесмен за
he
Кришна.
had the potential to expand a huge business. He was a wholesaler of pharmaceutical medicines.
Имал потенциал да разшири бизнеса си доста.
So he was trying to be, as a grahasta, he was trying to serve in that way by becoming a big businessman.
Като грехаст той се опитвал да служи по този начин, като стане голям бизнес.
But Krishna took it all away. The whole factory burned down, everything finished.
Но Кришна му взел всичко. И фабриката, и целият бизнес.
He just walked away from it
И той
finally.
просто напуснал този бизнес.
Went to live in an ashram.
И отишъл да живее в ашрам.
And then he came to America, you see, with no, only, 40 rupees, yeah.
И след това дошъл в Америка с нищо на практика. Без...
No facility. So he said, oh, Krishna took everything away from him.
И Шрила Прабхупад казва, Кришна
So that sometimes Krishna will do.
ми отне всичко. Понякога Кришна така прави.
He will put one in a condition where he has no material pride left.
Кришна поставя преданодание в състояние, в където го лишава от цялата му материална гордост.
Completely smashed.
Напълно смазан.
In total humility. You see.
Напълно смирен.
So it depends on the individual.
Така че зависи от конкретния преданодание.
If someone is highly advanced, simply by hearing they can understand. They don't require to have everything removed. some wealthy man, he may hear, just like my godbrother Ambarish Prabhu. He was a very wealthy man. He's in the Ford family. He's the great-grandson of Henry Ford. They invented the mass production of the automobile.
Ако някой е много богат, но интелигентен и разбира просто чрез слушане, не е нужно.
So when he became a devotee, Krishna didn't take it away from him as well. Because he's a very intelligent man. Just by hearing, he could understand these truths. He became detached just by hearing. So Krishna let him keep all of his material opulence to use in his service. So it depends on the individual. For some, just by hearing they will realize, and then Krishna will let them keep all their opulence. Some, even by hearing, they still don't get the message. So for them, Krishna takes everything away. Next question.
Вчера завършихме лекцията с един вид притеснение на типичното преданно ударение, че движението за Кришна съзнание ще изчезне. Моят въпрос е, смятате ли, че Кришна фермите са едно решение за по-дългосрочно продължение на Кришна съзнание, понеже знам, че Прабхупада е казал, че бъдещето в Кришна ферми.
Yesterday we finished the lecture with kind of concern that maybe the preaching will in the future will not be expanded or something like that. And he is asking about the farm communities in Krishna consciousness, because Prabhupada said that this is the future of Krishna consciousness. So can we say that
the farm communities will be successful in due course?
Да, тези общности, фермите ще бъдат успешни с течение на времето.
Sajjana darjana pangu jadda anagana primavanyaya dubaila jagatara jana. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that whether pious or impious, dull, blind, invalid, or crippled, lame, invalid, or blind, everyone will become drowned by this ocean of Krishna Prem.
Шрила Кришнадас Кавираж Госвами казва, че всеки, независимо от това какво състояние се намира, дори да е инвалид или глупав, наводнени от Кришна съзнание.
So eventually our foreign communities will be very successful in leading the economic revolution on this planet.
И в крайна сметка нашите фермерски общности ще бъдат много успешни в това да водят икономическата революция.
Now they have an economy based on artificial paper money.
На тази планета в момента икономиката се основава на изкуствените книжни банкноти.
So it's a completely artificial thing. The money has no value.
Което е напълно изкуствено нещо, защото парите нямат истинска стойност.
And people are just working hard to make money, which has no value.
Хората работят усилено да изкарат пари, което няма никаква стойност.
People are so frustrated, they hate their jobs. They're forced to do it to get some piece of paper to give their landlord so they don't be thrown out on the street. It's very artificial economy. Everyone should have their own land so they can build their house, they have their own house. And they can keep one cow, they can grow some crops, and in this way they can live very peacefully.
Всеки трябва да има парче земя, което да си построи къща, да отглежда крава и някакви зеленчуци, така да живее спокойно.
They don't have to worry about the stock market crashing.
Човек не трябва да се притеснява, че стоковата борса ще...
They can have nice kirtan that will attract the rain.
Ще се срине. Човек трябва да прави киртан, да привлече дъжда.
And they can grow their food, and the cow can eat the grass, and they can have some nice milk products, some burfi and sandesh and rasagula.
Да си отглежда кравата и реколтата, за да
ice cream,
всякакви хубави неща от млечни произведения.
And live happily, you know.
И да живееш щастливо.
You see. So eventually our farm communities will lead the economic revolution on this planet.
Така че нашите общности, ферми ще водят икономическата революция на тази планета.
We need to get our farm communities together now. It's a great lack in this kind.
Това липсва в момента в Искони. Трябва да създаваме и поддържаме такива ферми, такива общности.
Devotees don't have enough faith in Prabhupada's words.
Преданните нямат достатъчно вяра в думите на Прабхупада.
They're too addicted to automobiles and electricity.
Те са прекалено пристрастени към автомобили и към електричество.
We need to know how to live off the land.
Ние трябва да знаем как да живеем
Get our necessities of life
с земята.
without depending on the modern day technology.
Да получаваме своите необходимости в живота без да зависим от съвременната технология.
But I have confidence that gradually our farm communities will manifest as Prabhupada wanted them to.
Но аз имам увереност, че постепенно нашите такива общности, ферми ще се проявят, както и Прабхупада го искал.
Next question.
Друг въпрос.
Искам да питам, дали има разлика между духовното божество, което чистия Предводан изпитва на земята и в Вайкунта?
He's asking, is there any difference between the spiritual bliss that the devotee experiences here on the earth and in Vaikuntha? Is there any difference?
No.
Yeah.
It's the same bliss.
Това е същото блаженство.
If one is a pure devotee, he tastes the same nectar here as he does in the spiritual world. The same nectar.
Ако някой е чист преданен, той вкусва същия нектар тук, както...
Ananda is Ananda. That's all.
Ананда си Ананда, това е.
You're tasting spiritual bliss here, there, it's the same thing.
Ако вкусваш духовно блаженство, независимо дали си тук или там, няма разлика.
Krishna's mercy is Krishna's mercy.
Милостта на Кришна си е милостта на Кришна.
Whether you're getting it in Sophia or you're getting it in Goloka Vrindavan, it's the same mercy.
Дали я получаваш в София или в Голока Вриндавана, няма разлика. Същата милост.
Next question.
Понеже с това си първо си говорихме за важността на саданата, който също споменава в Санкаршан. Аз искам да попитам, кое е най-важното човек да стане успешен проповедник на Кришна съзнание?
You emphasize the importance of sadhana, and his question is, what is the most important thing for a devotee to become a successful preacher?
Well, you have to be an ideal example, obviously.
Очевидно трябва да си идеален, самият ти да си идеален пример.
You have to chant 16 rounds faithfully without fail, and you must strictly follow the regulated principles.
Да мантруваш вярно 16 кръга.
And then, on top of that, you must be compassionate.
И да спазваш регулиращите принципи стриктно и освен
To
това
see that I'm tasting so much nectar.
трябва да бъдеш и състрадателен.
I'm swimming in this ocean of unlimited bliss at every minute.
И да виждаш как ти вкусваш този безкрайен нектар всеки момент.
By chanting and following these principles, I'm living in an ocean of bliss constantly.
Като мантрувам и спазвам тези принципи, аз постоянно изпитвам нектар.
But these people around me, they're suffering like anything. I must do something to help these poor souls.
Но тия хора около мен, те толкова много страдат. Аз трябва да направя нещо да им помогна.
So you chant nicely, follow the principles, and be compassionate.
Затова мантрувай хубаво, следвай принципите.
Don't be selfish,
И бъди състрадателен.
thinking of your own liberation only.
Не бъди себичен, мислейки само за своето освобождение.
Be selfless.
Бъди безкористен.
Another question.
How much percentage we should be Krishna conscious in order to go back to Nami?
Well, if you're 100%, you're safe.
Ако си 100% е сигурно.
Prabhupada actually says in his books you have to be 100% Krishna conscious.
Шрила Прабхупад казва в своите книги, че трябва да бъдеш 100% Кришна осъзнат.
That's the standard.
Това е стандарта.
Although one time in Montreal he gave some concessions.
Въпреки че един път в Монреал той дал така малко отстъпка.
Because he had told the devotees very strongly, unless you're 100% Krishna conscious, you will not go back to Godhead.
Защото той каза така много силно на преданданието. Освен ако не сте 100% Кришна осъзнати, няма да се върнете в духовност.
And the devotees were like,
преданданите така се споглеждали малко.
So Prabhupada said, well, even if he gave them some concession, that even if they were 90%, they could still go back to God. And then he said 80%, and then he went down to 70%.
Шрила Прабхупад им дал малко отстъпка и им каза, че ако са 90%, може пак да се върнат. После даже свалил още на 80% и дори до 70% стигна.
So you may think, oh, that's very good. I only have to be 70% Krishna conscious to go back to God.
Човек може да си помисли, това е страхотно, 70%, ако съм Кришна осъзнат.
So I'm just going to chant my 16 rounds 70% of the time. That's it.
Ще матрувам своите 16 кръга 70%.
I'm only going to follow the 4 regulated principles, 70% of the time. The 30% I can break the principle.
Няма да следвам регулиращите принципи. 70% ще ги следвам, 30% ще ги...
I guarantee if you think like that, you won't make it.
Ако човек гарантира ви, че ако си мислите по този
Don't try to take advantage of the mercy of the spiritual master.
няма да успеете. Не се опитвайте да се възползвате от милостта на духовния учител.
If you're sincerely trying your best and still there is some deficiency, then that can be allowed, you see.
Ако човек искрено се опитва, но нещо не му достига, това е позволено.
So you must strive for 100% bhakti.
Затова човек трябва да се опитва за 100% бхакти.
And then even if there's some deficiency, that will be excused.
Но ако тогава има някакъв недостатък...
But if you think, oh, Guru is very merciful,
човек си мисли, Гуру е много мил.
I don't have to be strict in my sadhana.
Не трябва да съм стрикт на своята садхана.
You're not going to make it.
Човек няма да...
So strive for that 100% with all sincerity.
Трябва с цялата си искрено да се стреми към 100%.
And even if there's some deficiency, because you were striving for perfection,
и ако нещо не му достигне, въпреки това,
Krishna can give you some leniency. But you must strive for 100%. So our time has run out. I will stop here. And then the next program is hall. What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. So we thank you all very much for participation in this Krishna consciousness movement. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Sankarshana Prabhu ki jai.